Cradle to Chaos. This is Kelsey. I forgot my name for a second.
You're having a rough
Oh my
night.
gosh.
I feel like it's just been an evening for you.
Yeah.
I feel like I walked into like the chaos, not the cradle, the chaos part. I'm Brittany if we're doing intros.
Yeah, we're going to do a little intro. This went really well right off the bat.
I feel like this episode might be a little chaotic.
I was going to say,
just based
welcome
on our moods.
to the podcast where we keep it real about parenting. And
you said your name?
Well, no, I mean, I was going to say my name and then say that,
Oh.
but then I got caught up on the fact that I forgot my name. So
Yeah, it happens.
You've
got a lot of names to keep track of.
yeah, there's like 4.
Yeah.
So
just in this
I
house.
mean, 7 if you count my dogs.
Oh my gosh.
That's just
The fact that you remember
too
any of
much.
them is
Yeah.
honestly.
And some
Have
of
you
our-
done like the LaCloney or like
yeah, I'm
Chloe?
usually like Chloe. I mean Lainey.
My dad used to go Cribrit because my brother's name is Chris. Cribrit.
Everyone
Or
in
Chris.
my family growing up, almost everybody started with either a K or a C, so it was a lot. Just like rapid fire. Yeah. Just going through the list of names.
Oh man.
Oh.
Well, how are you? I feel like I'm scared to ask.
I am just having one of those weeks, and it's only Tuesday, where I am just like overtired and feel like I'm stretched thin, and I feel like I'm bringing home work stress and taking it out on people, and it's not fair, and it's just
It's just all piling up at once.
it'll be fine. It always is, but yeah.
Yeah, just one of those weeks where you feel like you're just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Which is a lot as a parent, but
Yeah. I
when
would say
work
like
gets into the
50
mix.
out of the 52 weeks of the year. That's how I feel. So,
Yeah. It's
but there's always those 2 that you have to look forward to.
and you're on vacation. you're on PTO
Yeah,
or
right.
something. Not saying it's all work, but
Oh my gosh.
oh man.
Did you have any good things happen to you this week?
Yeah, do you just want to jump into treats?
Okay. That means we're going to end on the tantrums, but that's
I mean,
okay
do
too.
you want to start with tantrums?
I don't care. You call the shots today. Just
Okay.
act like I'm not here.
Okay. Will do. I'm sitting in your kitchen without you. Okay, so actually last night it was kind of funny because Matt and I just like looked at each other and we're like, this age is actually so fun. Like we're just like loving, like Millie's just hilarious. Like the little things that her brain comes up with. She cracks us up. But you know the like book and it's like a song like we're going on a bear
Oh,
hunt.
yeah.
Got my binoculars. I'm
Gonna
not
catch a
scared.
big one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, well that's Millie's favorite song right now. And I went downstairs to like I think I just like went to grab the like laundry from the dryer to bring upstairs to fold, and she was watching TV and I told her I would be right back, and she starts coming down the stairs and I can hear her. I'm like, Millie, and she's like, Mama, where are you? I was like, oh, I'm just grabbing the laundry, I'll be there in 2 seconds. And she goes, I just hear her under her breath, going on a mama hunt, going on a mama hunt.
That's so cute. Oh my gosh.
She changed it to mama.
Lainey loves that book too, and we have the song also
I don't
that
have
she
the
loves
book,
to listen to.
but we listen to the
Oh,
song a
really?
lot.
You know
Yeah.
the book? It's a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
You can give it to me
but-
when Lainey's over it.
well, we used to use it as like kind of sarcastic. I know that's shocking coming from me, but when I worked in childcare and we were having just like a really rough day, we'd be like, can't go over it, can't go under it, have to go through it. Like,
That's so funny.
every once in a while when I'm doing something at work and I'm like, I really don't want to do that, that'll like pop in my head and I'm like, I'm sure the only one in the office just like whispering, going on a bear hunt to myself. But
Wait, that's actually so funny. It like
it
does
is,
like
so
apply.
true. It applies to like
Yeah.
everything. Like, oh
And
god,
you're
I
like,
have
I'm not scared.
to, have to
But I
go
am scared.
through it. Like, mud, oozy, squoozy mud, squelch, squelch. Not that I haven't listened to it 100 times.
Yeah, I can
but-
tell you could have kept going. You could have kept.
Should we just do this?
This
for the
is
whole
now,
episode?
this is now a book podcast. We'll read children's books.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should end each episode with like a bedtime story.
Yeah, instead of affirmations.
We're just gonna switch it up every episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, was that your treat?
That was really cute.
That was so cute. So my treat, I couldn't think of like just a treat. So
Oh no.
I was just gonna shout out my girl Chloe because she is like consistently walking more every single day. She's up to like today she like walked across her entire classroom to me before she like fell over.
Oh my gosh.
So every once in a while she'll do that, but it's usually like 5 or 6 steps, and then she goes into the squat.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she gets back up. But I feel like we're going on vacation here in a few weeks, and I feel like we're gonna totally have like a competent walker by then.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
Your arms will be free.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. But I don't know if I'm that lucky.
Yeah.
What do you got for tantrums?
Tantrums.
I wish I had more treats, believe me.
Yeah. So my tantrums, I have 2, and I don't know that they're directly related to Millie, because the first one, I don't know if it's more Matt or Millie. So Matt really likes to like pick on Millie and like just like tease her, kind of like she'll be like, I want a banana, and he'll be like, oh, you want an apple? And like they'll go back
Yeah.
and forth and like, no, I want a banana. Like, oh no, you want an orange? Like it's just like he just like really enjoys. He gets a huge kick out of it, but she's starting to get to the point where she gets so freaking annoyed. She's like,
Give me my banana.
a banana. And she has like total meltdowns, and I'm just like, Matt, stop teasing her. Like I get mad at him, and then I'm mad at her because she's having a tantrum. I'm
Right.
like, I could have got you the damn banana 15 minutes ago.
We could have been over this.
Yeah, like we didn't have to do any
This
of this.
didn't have to be a thing.
This drama could have been avoided. And then tonight before I came here, we went to the park and we were playing on the swings. And she's like, I want Mama to push. And he runs over. He's like, oh, you want Daddy to push? And she's like, Mama. She's like screaming in public that she wants me to push. And so I don't really know if this is directed towards her or if it's directed towards Matt, but that's my tantrum.
Oh, I get that. I feel like I'm the instigator a lot of the times. Where
Like you joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adam will be like, stop.
I know. It drives me crazy. I'm like, you need to stop it.
That's so funny.
She's just learning to communicate.
Yeah.
Can we like teach her how to communicate
Right.
properly
Yeah.
before we teach her to be sarcastic?
Yeah. That's why I'm a total grammar freak, and Adam is
I
the
am too.
opposite
I'm
of
a grammar
that.
freak, too.
Like I was like, just leave the reading skills to me. I got this. But
You
like
can help with math.
Yeah, like he'll
what I
say
found
something, and I'll be like, that's not how. Like you can't. You have to be
Like,
a model for our
you
children.
did good.
Or like, yeah, just something, I don't know. Or
Yeah.
like, it's very typical for a child to like misuse the wrong pronoun. Like,
Yeah.
hers did that today, and you can correct them without correcting and be like, oh, did she?
Yeah.
Like, but he doesn't do things like that because he just thinks it's funny, and he'll repeat what she says, and I'm like, stop it.
Oh, like he'll like repeat the like wrong way of
Yes.
saying something because
Yeah.
it's so cute.
Right,
Honestly, we do that sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, it's hard not to.
It's
but.
so cute.
Okay, I have 2 tantrums. One is Lainey, just like kind of a general one, but suddenly over the last week, she's gotten incredibly clingy lately.
Really?
Like, I want you to come with me. I want you to come with me. Like, to do anything. Like, to
Interesting.
go to the potty. She's like, I want you to come with me. And I'm like, you've been going to the potty by yourself forever. Like, you
Yeah.
go to the potty by yourself at school. What is going on? And sometimes I'm like, I got someone like go. Like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not coming with you. But she'll like sit there and cry if we don't come with her. I'm like, what is going on? So I don't know. I think she's just going through a phase. But.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then I have another one. This is a Lainey/me tantrum that actually happened today that like started the mood of the day.
Oh God.
So like I said, I think I've just been like bringing home work stress, and today in the car, Lainey got in the car, like everything was fine and dandy, and then she asked for a snack, the same
drill.
old song and dance, and it was like 6 p.m. So I picked them up late today, and I was like, oh, I'm really, really sorry, Mommy. I'm really, really sorry, Lainey, but I don't think Mommy remembered to bring a snack today. And it was fine. Like, everything was fine.
Really?
We were just, like, going about our time. And then we got in the car and we were driving. Like, the further we went, then she kept saying, she was screaming at the top of her lungs that she wanted a snack. And I have started to try to do this thing where, like, if she's not talking to us in a nice way or, like, being polite, we just like completely ignore her. So when I tell you she was screaming at the top of her lungs, like the top of her lungs, and like Chloe's just staring at her like, what is wrong with you? Then she starts sobbing, and I was just like already stressed from the day, and I snapped. Like I snapped like I've never snapped before, and I yelled so loud.
Just put you over the edge.
It just like put me over the edge, and then she started crying even harder. I'm
Yeah.
like, I know this isn't gonna help, but I just like
You
couldn't
couldn't help it.
Oh my God, I felt so bad. I just like sat in the car and cried.
Oh.
And
yeah, sometimes you just reach a breaking point.
Oh my
and
gosh.
it's like
And then like I like took a minute and I talked to her and I was like, I'm really sorry I yelled at you.
yeah.
But also, what the fuck? Like, stop.
Why were you
Like,
screaming at me?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And
Girl,
it's
I've
just,
been there.
it is
I
like
have been
so hard though, because I yelled at her to get her to stop yelling, which like obviously is
And you're
the
like, I'm
dumbest
teaching
thing
the
in the world.
behavior. But like,
But
it's
I've
hard
never,
not to.
I've never yelled the way I yelled today. And I
Really?
was like, I need a minute away from you.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's
you
hard when you
just-
go from one stressful situation into another immediately without a break. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah,
and when you're
it's-
with screaming kids, I don't care what anyone says, you can't concentrate.
No.
Your feeling or your thoughts are not cohesive.
Well, it was also like, I know that this is what she was trying to get out of this, is just some sort of rise or like reaction or something, and I freaking gave it to her.
Yeah.
And so like we both lost in the way that I reacted and just like giving her any attention. But oh my gosh, so that was
Yeah.
not good.
Well, she's already forgotten about it.
Hopefully.
I'm positive.
Or tomorrow she'll be like, remember the time you yelled at me?
Be like, no, what? You must have dreamt
Like,
that.
that must have been a dream. I
I've
don't know.
literally
That's
never
not
heard
who
of
I
that.
am. Yeah. So anyways, I'm a terrible mom. So
No, you're not a terrible mom.
I felt so bad.
I think it's harder to find a mom who's never done that
It's true.
than it is to find a mom who has also done that, because I've
Ugh.
also done that, and then 2 seconds later I'm like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
'Cause you
I-
sometimes you just can't help it in the moment. It just happens.
Gosh.
I get it.
Mm.
It's rough. You're doing great.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, with going back to my treat really fast, so Chloe walking. So today we're talking about comparing children and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the very first thing that Adam and I said when Chloe started walking, we're like, oh my gosh, she's only 13 months old. It took Lainey until she was like 16 or 17 months to do that. It's just like such a natural
To compare
thing
siblings.
for us
That's
to compare.
interesting.
Yeah, like it's just, I
What
don't know,
you
like we
do.
talk about this all the time. Like, oh, at this stage, Lainey was in this
Yeah.
size clothes or this size diaper, or like she was doing this and this. And so it is very, very interesting.
That is so interesting. When I was taking notes, I didn't even think about that, because
that's
obviously
like probably what most of my notes are about.
well, that's
because-
good though, because we'll have like different perspectives.
Yeah, for sure. So
That's super interesting.
I think this will be a very interesting topic.
I think that's going to get harder too the older they get. You know what I mean? Like it's just like skill sets and
Yeah.
who does things faster.
I think you
and-
also have to be more careful.
So how do
about-
you like? I don't know. Or like, do you feel like that's wrong of you, or like, do you combat that in any way, or like, what are your
So,
thoughts when you?
I
compare?
wrote down, like, we catch ourselves doing this constantly, especially around like milestones and age, just like simple things like the
It's
size.
always milestones.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I wrote down. That's
Yeah.
the thing I noticed most about myself. It was always milestones when people were saying, my kid's walking, my kid's talking, my kid's,
Yeah.
eating solids, my kid's doing all these things. It's all the milestones. And
Yeah.
I'm like, should I be there?
Right,
Why am
exactly.
I not there?
Yeah, and
And you can't help but compare yourself.
I think it's gotten so much worse because of social media. And
That's
like
literally
I was gonna
number
say,
one on
like
my
I have a
list.
perfect example because I like obviously like post on TikTok a lot,
Yeah.
and a lot of like right now I'm doing this like when will she walk like confidently thing, and I get so many people like I walked at 9 months, and I get a couple I walked at 6 months. I'm like, no, you didn't. Like first of all, no,
but
you
also,
didn't.
like, is that going to make you feel
Yeah, or like people are like, I can't believe she's not walking. And like, why do you go out of your way to comment
Yeah,
on like something
that took
negatively?
effort.
Right. And
People
it's
have big mouths behind a screen or
for
a
sure.
phone.
But like people are like that. I feel like it just comes naturally for them. And part of me thinks it comes from just pure ignorance, and I don't mean that in a rude way. Just like people who aren't familiar with child development, if like all they know is I have this child and they
Yeah.
did this at this age, so all children must do that at that age.
True.
So I think for the most part, I'm not saying that there aren't some like jerks out there, because of course there are. We're just trying to get a rise out of people, but I do think a lot of the time it's just like pure ignorance on the topic.
Yeah, they don't know. I know. And I feel like it's like everyone just needs to be reminded that like your kid is unique. Everybody goes at their own pace. And I had to remind myself a lot. I think I've gotten a lot better, but I remember like the first year, you know, there's so many milestones that happen in that first year that I was just like, I feel
even
like I was
the first 6
constantly
months
stressed.
Yeah.
Well, I even wrote like, I feel like it started at pregnancy.
Oh, for sure.
Like I was like, oh, they have like a baby bump and I don't.
Yeah.
Or they went to this appointment and saw their 3D ultrasound and I didn't. Like just things like that. Like, I mean, even aside from having kids, like I feel like we all compare ourselves to each other all the time. But like I just feel like it like when it comes to like kids and like pregnancy and all that stuff, like I just feel like it's
Yeah.
Because you feel like your kid is an extension of you.
Oh, 100%.
And if they're not doing something that like other moms' kids are doing, you're like, I'm not as good of a mom, and that's a reflection of me.
Well,
on
you
my
totally
kid.
get defensive. I mean, if anybody looks at my kid wrong, I get defensive. Like that's just like a natural.
It's a mother
instinct.
like
Right.
mama bear.
But I think it does come just like so easily with siblings. And I was thinking about this, and like right now, I can't think of a single time that we've talked about it in a negative way, and it's just been like a between me and Adam type thing. Yeah, it's just something that we've noticed. But I do think that as they get older, we have to be really careful about saying things around them.
Yes.
Because you can create a sense of rivalry or resentment, and I don't want to use them against each other. Like, why can't you do that? Like,
yes.
Chloe could do that when she was 5. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not something that you should do. And
no,
like
not
you
at
said,
all.
like you said, like focusing on their unique strengths and their achievements, and then you can set personal goals based off of like what they're interested in, what their abilities are.
Focus on what they can do.
Yes.
And it's not be the best, it's be your best.
Oh,
or be
I like that.
my best.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I want that on a t-shirt. Or maybe
you can. That'll be important like with sports and stuff too.
Yeah, for sure.
Whenever they get into that.
Yeah.
Going back to social media, I feel like that's like the number one, like, I don't know, like culprit of where all the comparison comes from. Because everyone, it's not real life. Everyone posts all the good stuff. No one's posting like the real life stuff except for us.
Yeah,
we're posting
like we post real life stuff.
But I actually like have gone through my social media, and like if there's just like somebody I'm seeing that like just posts all the time, like, oh, everything's hunky dory, like my kid's doing this awesome thing, like whatever, like I am not afraid to like mute people.
Oh,
or
for
just
sure.
unfollow people. Like I've gone through my feed. I'm like, if this makes me feel like shit, I'm just gonna like mute you for a while.
Totally.
And, like you don't have to unfriend them. They're never gonna know.
Yeah.
But it's like if it's making you feel like crap and it's making you compare yourself or your kid to others, then it's like it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Well,
It's
people talk
so
about that
worth
all the
it.
time. Or like if you are going through a struggle and you happen to just be scrolling on social media and all you see are these like perfect little families with their perfect little kids, and you're like, well, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. Or like trying to conceive or something, and you see all these
pregnancy announcements.
all these pregnancy announcements.
I remember that. It took we were in the weeds with it, and I feel like everybody I knew that right in that moment in those couple of years were like pregnant. I'm like, okay, congratulations.
Yeah, like I'm happy for you, but I'm sad for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't ever want to say that to somebody either.
No, of course not. Like, no. Or even just taking like a digital detox. Like if I find myself spiraling down like social media and I'm like starting to feel bad about myself or something, I literally just like put my phone away and I'm like, focus on the good, focus on like the now. Like social media is not real, and it just like if you find yourself getting in that mental place, it's like just put it away.
Yeah.
Call it quits for the night.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes though.
It is hard, especially once you go down the rabbit hole.
I feel like in general it is impossible not to compare children or people in general. Like it's just human nature.
Totally.
And I feel like everybody wants some kind of benchmark to go off of to see, to make sure their children are on track academically, socially. And I feel like it normally comes from a really good place of wanting to make sure that like everything is good.
Yeah.
But I talked about this in maybe in our discipline episode. I don't remember, but like a really great tool to use instead of like a physical side-by-side comparison is the ASQ checklist. Now you do these at doctor's appointments.
I was just going to bring up doctor appointments.
Yeah, and these are the little questionnaires that you do, but they're called ASQ checklists. There's 2 different kinds. There's social emotional, and then there's like cognitive or like more of an academic checklist, and it has like a bunch of survey questions. You can take your time and go through it and like actually like test your kiddo and you know, see what they can do and what they can't do. You mark them and then you score yourself, and at the end it kind of shows you like where they're at. So, and then like from there, it'll give you like either they're like in the middle, which is great, like they're on the high end, which is also great. And then it'll say if they like fall below a benchmark, it usually recommends to reach out to your pediatrician. Isn't that weird? You reach out to your pediatrician, not social media.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so weird? I know.
Some people need to learn that.
So yeah, it's just like a big reminder. If you have a concern about your child, talk to their doctor. That is probably one of my biggest freaking pet peeves on social media. Hey guys, I noticed like my daughter has had this rash for about 48 hours. She has a fever of 106. I'm not looking too well. Her skin is bright blue. What do you think? What do you think it could be? Like,
sometimes I feel like that's for attention.
100%.
Yeah. But I will say there are like support groups that like you could be able to write those things. You should feel comfortable doing that, but after you talk. Hi, Lainey. After you talk to a doctor.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like I don't get that personal on stuff on social media. Like, I mean, I share my story for sure. Like, I probably share more than a lot of people do, but stuff like that, I'm just like, what?
There's nothing wrong with sharing. Yeah, but I think what you're trying to say is like social media is not the answer for everything.
No, like Dr. Facebook is not the answer.
Yeah, for sure. I was gonna bring up the ASQs because I feel like whenever, I would start to compare whatever, like Millie, like I think she walked probably like 14 or 15 months, and like that was later than like a lot of the other babies that like were in the September 2021 moms group or whatever. But then like I would go to these doctor appointments and I would ask the question and say like, hey, is it like weird that she's not doing this or whatever? And they were always 100% of the time, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
No, of
or
course
like
not.
everyone develops at their own pace.
Exactly. And the ASQ, she always like passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I feel like we need to like have realistic like expectations or like let go of like the ideal,
of course,
and it's just let your kid grow as they grow.
Yeah, I remember going to Lainey's 15-month appointment and she was still not walking, and we were like, I didn't really say anything because I mean I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah,
but our doctor like preemptively was like, don't worry, she's gonna be walking by her 18-month checkup, I guarantee it.
Yep.
And sure enough, she was running around that office like a banshee.
Yep.
I think one thing I was going to say that's really important, that when you are comparing children, because you're going to do it, it's going to happen, but to never do it openly in front of another child or your child for that matter.
Yeah.
Like, I think you just have to be very careful about that because that can be a huge self-esteem hit, and that can like hit early and stick with you. So I think that's really important.
That is really important.
And I don't think people mean to do it either. Like it's just like, it's also like when parents will have conversations about their kids and they're like standing next to them at pickup, like when I would work, and like they are taking in what you're saying. I know they're not looking at us, I know, but like they
understand.
It's just being so mindful of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now I'm actually like doing it pretty badly with potty training. Because, like, I know that, like, half of her class is potty trained. And, like, I'm, like, comparing myself. Like, if I see another, like, 2.5-year-old with a diaper, I'm like, oh, good, I'm not alone. Like, I feel better. But, like, I also know in my heart of hearts that, like, she's not ready yet.
Yeah.
Like, we offer it every day. I'm doing what I can.
Right.
To, like,
that is one thing that you cannot force. It only makes it worse. Go back and listen to our potty training episode.
I know. And that's why I'm not. That's why I haven't done another, like, boot camp weekend or anything. I know she's not ready.
Yeah.
But I can't help but compare myself.
Of course.
Or compare her to other
I mean, that's a
age.
really big benchmark, and that also benefits you more than her.
Yeah.
Once she gets to that part, so you're more ready for it than she'll ever be.
Yeah.
But when I was in childcare, we would have a specific classroom for those kiddos who were ready for like preschool education level, but like weren't quite there at the potty, so they kept the ratio a little bit lower. So maybe ask if that's something that they do too, just so like you don't feel like she's being held back academically just because like her body's not ready for whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know how they do everything at daycare. They say they offer it to her, but she always says no.
Yeah. I just mean, like, if you feel like she's ready to move on academically, but, like, they're holding her back because of the potty, which is a typical thing.
Yeah.
Most of the times they can differentiate curriculums and, like, make sure she's at least getting enriched and that side of things.
Yeah.
So I was going to talk about a little bit when it comes to comparing. I know we talked about comparing children, but also, like, comparing moms. I feel like mom shaming is so big. It's so rude.
It's terrible.
And I just, like, think back, I'm like, where did this start?
Why?
And, like, why is it such a normal thing?
It's because of what I said earlier. People think that they're, like, kids are a reflection of them. And so if I do this awesome thing, I make my kid eat vegetables every night, I don't know.
Yeah.
That makes me look like a good person.
I don't even think it's like I'm trying to think of something. Okay, so there was this video that we made of Lainey. This is a specific video that I posted on our TikTok when we transitioned her from a crib to a big girl bed.
Okay.
And we let her pick out her own bedding. You might remember this. Yeah. And it was like this big thing. We would we were laying down the pictures and letting her choose, and it was like a bracket, like a bedding bracket.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of, like, positive feedback on it, but I would say at least half of the comments were like, I cannot believe that you let her sit like that. That is such a bad way for her to sit. And some people were like, in the W position, it is, like, genuinely can be bad for your hips.
What do you mean?
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get in
Wait, the way she was sitting while she was picking out her...
Here, I'm talking through this. This is the W.
Okay, she's sitting on her knees.
I'm not on my knees, I'm on my butt.
Okay, she's on her butt, but, like, her legs are, like, splayed out to the side. But, like, that's how kids sit.
Yeah. It could be really bad for your knees and your hips if they do it constantly, but it's just funny because, like,
that's the thing they picked out of this?
In this 2-minute video, they were like,
had nothing to do with
I can't believe you would let her do that. And it's just, like, very interesting to me that people think it's okay to be like, ooh, I can't believe you do that.
That's really weird.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, what happened to you? I just want to know, like, why are you so angry?
Do you need a hug?
Actually, that's funny. I posted a video that got a ton of attention. It was the, like, Fisher-Price wooden toys at Walmart. Yeah. It got a ton of attention, and people were like, oh my gosh, I would never let my kid have a wooden toy. They get so germy. Like, it's not like plastic toys where you can just wash them or whatever. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's okay.
You can't win. You're either like using something earth friendly that you can't clean well, or you're using something that's going to kill the earth that you can clean well.
Yeah.
Like,
people
can't win.
So silly.
You just can't win.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know. Everyone will find something all the time.
Or, like, the car seat comments where people will, like, lose their
I literally won't post a
mind.
picture of Millie, like, in a car seat at all because I know that people are going to pick me apart.
Someone-
I'm doing it fine, I think. Like, I'm sure her straps are fine, but, like, someone's going to be like, that's too low. Put it
That's
up to
too
her
low.
armpit.
It's too loose.
Why is
it's
it twisted?
Yeah. Just trying to save her life. Like, those comments. I'm like, okay, God. And I'm so petty sometimes that like, I want to do it wrong and post a picture and be like, having the best day. And just,
I love those TikToks that do that, though.
Yeah.
Where they just, like, go off the deep end and, like, they're obviously not, like, real. Like, oh, my kid's drinking juice for, like breakfast.
Or we thought they were ready to start using a butcher knife to cut their dinner up. And this, like, a video.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Or, like, giving my kid his third Mountain Dew of the day. Or, like, they like, say something like that.
Yeah.
I think they're hilarious.
Yeah, those are good ones. But
yeah, it's not healthy.
It's just,
and like if you need to ignore those comments, Kels, you should. Don't read them.
I do. I read them, but I don't respond to them.
Yeah.
I try not to give the negative ones attention unless, like, I really feel like I need to set them straight. So I've only done that a couple times, but
do you just, like, kill them with kindness?
Oh, no. I'm not a kill them with kindness kind of person.
Did you respond about the way she was sitting?
That one I was kind about, because if some people were, like, genuinely, like, hey, like not trying to be like
Yeah.
that person, but just so you know, like they'd be like, I had a personal experience with this and like just wanted to make sure that like you
But
were
that's
aware. Like that's
different.
totally different.
That's
Yeah.
different. But I like when people get sassy. They're like, oh my God, where have you been the last
Yeah.
30 years of my life?
Thank God for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like when people get sassy a little bit.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's a difference between like societal expectations and what's actually normal and what's not, which is just like kind of the
Yeah.
same thing, but going back to just if you're ever unsure, like talk to a professional who like
Yes.
they literally do this for a living.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
if
know.
you ever have doubts, talk to a professional for sure. It's like, don't go to your friend who's like, oh, my kid was walking at 9 months. Like,
Yeah, or 6 months.
yeah,
Okay.
well, that can't be real.
Like that's weird because Lainey wasn't even sitting up then, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just like letting go of those expectations too. It's okay. And it's really
it's
hard
hard.
at first. I do think it gets easier.
I don't know. I feel like then we're going to get into like academics and grades. Like, are you an A student or are you a BC student? Or are
That's
you
true.
like
As
on
far
the
as
honor roll? Are you?
milestones
Yeah.
go, I think it's gotten easier. Or maybe I've just like let go of the pressure.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, I saw that it didn't matter. You know
I
what
think
mean?
it will be like maybe less on us, but more on our kids. Like they are going to start comparing themselves to their peers.
Right. And that's going to be on
And-
us to like make them
yeah.
not feel that way.
Yes.
Gosh.
And I just
I'm
am like,
dreading.
I want.
day.
I
School day.
know. I so badly want to like set myself up for success and that my girls feel like they can talk to me about anything. And like that's the easiest thing that you can say, but it's so hard to execute because like I didn't tell my parents anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Or, if they're self-conscious and they
Right.
feel silly for like thinking things,
Yeah.
they're not going to want to tell you.
I know, which I don't like.
I know.
Ugh. This is a hard topic, Brittany.
It is. I'm just
It's
I
really
just bring
bringing
up
me
all
down.
the- No, you were already down. don't
That's
don't
true.
put that on.
I came with the down,
But
the downness.
you do those affirmations every day. You're
Most
doing
days.
everything to help them prepare for that. So
Yeah.
she doesn't want to hear it. She says, "Nope." Okay, Miss Thang. Well, what are
Mm.
we gonna talk about next week?
Okay, well, we've talked about it a lot this episode, but I really, really, really want to like dig into social media.
Ooh, okay.
I want to talk about social media and like, I don't know, just everything. Like, do you post your kids? Do you,
I would
like,
love to talk about that because, yeah,
I feel like it's a very controversial thing
Super
right now. Like there
controversial.
are a lot of people who will post their kids, but
And
they,
I go back
they
and
cover their
forth
faces
every day.
I do too. I will go through, especially on my TikTok, I will go through a phase where I'm like, I'll still post, but like I'm not gonna like
their
show
faces.
them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, but they're so freaking cute. And I also, I hear people say this all the time, and people are always like, it's not an excuse, and we can save most of this for the episode, but like,
Yeah.
I have family who like look forward to this post, and they're like, we'll
Yeah.
just send it to them directly, and I'm like, okay. I mean, also fair, but
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it, yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for
Right.
listening.
You're doing great, Mom Besties. Don't
Thank
compare
you so
yourself to
much.
anybody. You're doing great, Kelsey. You are smart. You are kind. You are important. You are beautiful. You can do anything.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
I actually really needed to hear that.
Yes.
Well, follow us on socials. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And we will be back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom Bestie.
Bye, Mom Besties.
Bye.